What up, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Fantasy Princess, SoundCloud, so quick. My neighbors. Oh, good morning, Sunday morning. Praise the Lord. Although I do not celebrate the Lord on Sundays, the day of the sun, but that's not what this is about. I told you guys that it was going to take no time before that deal with Steph Curry was going to be overshadowed. And here we go. Let's just listen.
Guys can only hope one day they'll get the money that James Harden is going to get from the Houston Rockets. Let's add 4 years to his deal, bring him up to $228 million through the 2022-23 season, making Steph Curry Supermax seem like chump change. Other Houston luminaries are weighing in. JJ Watt tweeting James Moneybags. That's 7 Moneybag emojis that I counted. Congrats, J Harden 13. And his new teammate Chris Paul tweeted, congrats, the hell with the ball. Let me hold some of that money. No doubt about it. He dishes dimes. That's an awful lot of dimes. $228 million would be a lot of dimes. No doubt about it. It's 106 degrees outside in Las Vegas. Thankfully, Ramona Shelburne is inside working on this hot deal, literally and figuratively, between the Rockets and Harden. What more can you add on this, Ramona?
Well, look, this for Houston is about locking in James Harden for the long haul, and it further puts this team in a spot where they are. This whole thing with Chris Paul is a 1-year experiment, right? I mean, I know he recruited Chris Paul, and Chris Paul is happy to be there, and he's tweeting at him, and they're good friends right now, but nobody really knows how that team is going to work. But both of them were in a situation where they have to see how this is going to work before they commit long term. Now this makes it clear that James Harden is the guy in Houston for a very long time. Chris Paul is going to have to earn his keep, and they're going to have that experiment has to work. And, as you know, Chris Paul he only opted into 1 year of his deal. So I kind of like the way this sets up for Houston, where Chris Paul's a 1-year experiment where they didn't really give up all that much to get him. And now, obviously, Brian Windhorst and Adrian Wojnarowski are reporting they're reigniting their desire to get Carmelo Anthony there. I don't know. I haven't talked to Mike D'Antoni.
All right. Everybody wants to get Carmelo. But there's some bad blood between the managers and the owners when it comes to Carmelo. But so it sounds like it's a 5-year deal, 5-6-year deal that they locked James Harden in for. It might be even reading a comment from one of my subscribers in Baltimore Ravens, but it might be even, and it's football season, you guys, I'm about to get into those. It might be even less than that, because I'm counting from 2017, 18, so it might be like a 4-year deal, 4 or 5-year deal, I don't know. But I think it's all the way up till 23. Let's listen to the beginning again.
Rockets. Let's add 4 years to his deal, bring him up to $228 million.
Okay, so it's a 4-year deal, $228 million. Steph Curry, bye Felicia. Steph Curry, your 5-year deal just went to the toilet. Because James Harden just got a 4-year deal for $228 million. I told you guys, I said as soon as I heard that deal with Steph Curry, I was like, for one, he's getting underpaid. LeBron James weighs in. He's getting underpaid. He should be worth $400 because Golden State wasn't doing nothing until Curry shows up. Facts. That is very true. And I was like, yo, it's not even going to take any time before somebody overshadows that deal. Boom. They're like, you know what? Now, they're like, you know what? Let's do this with James Harden. I told you there were 10 players who can overshadow that deal. I said this in the video I made, yesterday when I was lifting weights. I was like, there's about 10 players who can max out and make that deal look like nothing. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And look, but you know what, you guys? It's not the fact that I'm right. It's the fact that the NBA is predictable. It's so fixed and so predictable and so outlandish now that it's not even a surprise that they're throwing this much money around. And to my man, one of my subscribers, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. He was like, look, these guys aren't even making that money. They're just tossing these numbers around. He's like, this is not even true that they're making that money. And you know what? As far as the fans are concerned, especially as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even matter. They can toss these numbers around all they want. It's so far beyond us now that it's just like, who cares? Okay, for one, let's think about this. Why are they even telling us about these contracts? Let's just think about that. Why are they putting in our face that these guys are making all this money? You know what I'm saying? Oh, and this is what the Baltimore Ravens said. He said, facts, only on paper, you can't take it out of the bank. So talking about Steph Curry's $201 million. That may be true. I don't know. But nonetheless, why are they even telling us? Here's what I'm saying. If you're going to tell us about James Harden 228 Supermax deal for 4 years, why don't you give us the breakdown? Why don't you tell us how it came to be? We know you're trying to lock James Harden in for the long run. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Why they're locking players down now. Okay? Because of the flow of the NBA. But let's just go with, why even tell us? Why? Why tell us from the beginning what these players are making? Why? So we can idolize them? That's exactly why they're doing it. They want you to keep your eyes on these people who put a ball in the hoop and idolize them as if they're something bigger than what they are. You put a ball in the hoop, okay? That's what you do. You're not a researcher. You're not curing cancer or Ebola or some type of disease that's been killing off people by the billions for years. You're not some type of you're not running for president. You're not going to save the world with your ball in the hoop. You're not going to do nothing but make all this money and nobody gives a dang. Then you're going to show off your cars, your wife, your shoes with this whole so-and-so go sneaker shopping. Who gives a dang about so-and-so going sneaker shopping? I never watched that stupid video. None of them. They buy a bunch of sneakers that are made in China for $2 and they pay $250 for them. And I'm supposed to be wowed by this. Shoot, some of those dang sneakers break down on the basketball court in front of everybody, and people still want to go out and buy it. I don't wear none of that crap. I wear New Balance. That's what old people wear. They're great running shoes. That's what I wear. That's what I buy for my daughter. New Balance, okay? I'm just saying, why even tell us about all this? Because they want you to idolize these people, okay? And I don't idolize that one person on this planet. They are not gods. They're just regular people. That's all they are, with their doggone training camps that cost a ridiculous amount of money. They got talent, so do I. Heck, I can spin a ball on my finger. Hey, look at me, pay me millions. Whatever. I'm just saying, these goofy contracts that they're flinging about, they don't have the breakdown of them. Give us the breakdown. Tell us how much they are, how much the players really get, how much the NBA is skimming off of it, because they got all type of fees. You better believe they do. Tell us how much the lawyer or the agent or the lawyer and the agent is getting. Okay, are they getting 1/3 of that? Okay, how much tax is on that? Is this luxury tax? Because is luxury tax more than normal tax? Okay, because me, myself, I'm the working poor. So my tax bracket is 22%. Okay, Their tax bracket is what? 36 to 38%. So for all you mathematicians and you gematria number people, go ahead and start running the numbers on 228 and what's off the top. What's 38% of that coming off the top? I could grab a calculator, but I don't even care to. Because that's what happens. 36 to 38% of that is gone in taxes. That's that. Then you're looking at what the lawyer gets. Is the lawyer get, 20%, 10%? How much the lawyer or the agent or the lawyer and the agent get? Okay? How much is going to be left off of this deal within 4 years? What do they really get? What is the real breakdown of that? If you want us to be all wild about these guys who make a ridiculous amount of money to put a ball in the hoop. And I told you guys once, I'm going to tell you again, they don't even need the audience to be there. All they need is the ad revenue, and that's why these numbers are so ridiculous. All they need is the ad revenue. They don't need you because they know you're going to go out and buy these products out of these stores. That's who's paying these people. Target, Walmart, Mercedes-Benz, Rolex, Buick. That's who's paying these ridiculous. Nike, that's who's paying these people. Gatorade, hot dogs and underwear. Okay? I'm just saying. It's just ridiculous. Now, as far as the flow of the NBA, you guys like long videos, so I'm going to keep going. As far as the flow of the NBA is concerned, you guys, really. For you guys who don't think the NBA is fixed, you know what, you guys, I just don't know what else to tell you. Because there has just been so much history of the NBA being fixed where players and referees and people have just come out. Even recently, a young man just came out and said the NBA was going to help the finals, and that's exactly what happened. Tracy McGrady just came out and said that this year. He said that they were going to get help from the league. LeBron James, and they did for one game. Okay, come on, people. I don't know what else to tell you. But if you're looking at the flow of the NBA and the flow of sports here, and the way that cyber sports are being played now, because this is what it is. It's cyber audience. Okay? They don't need you to fill seats. They just need you to watch TV. All right? Or watch cable or something. Have you noticed how many different cable sports cable channels are out there? How many of you guys have at least 20 sports cable channels on your TV? You're inundated with them. Even on the internet, you're inundated with sitting there in front of your TV for hours on end watching these people put a ball in the hoop. And you're parading about as if they're paying you. You guys are so passionate as if you're getting money from this. Did you see that guy? He ran down the court and shot the ball and it went in the hoop. And then, I smashed my TV because I was voting for the other team. So I smashed my $2,000 TV because the other guy put the ball in the hoop. And, he wasn't on my team. And then I went out and I tipped over cars and I set cars on fire. And then I got in trouble with the police. And I went to jail because the guy put a ball in the hoop that was on the other team. And I didn't want that to happen. That cost me thousands of dollars. I got a record and I vandalized somebody's car. Could have killed somebody. But look at the way the NBA is going. Just look at the players. Let's just take a look at this ridiculousness. For one, they locked James Harden down for the next 4 years because they saw what they did with the Golden State did with Curry. But you know what? All that was out of. If James Harden leaves the Rocket, what leaves the Rocket also? What leaves Houston with him? One, ad revenues. James Harden does a lot of commercials. He's the face of a lot of commercials. You'll lose all that audience. 2, tickets. You will lose those tickets. There are people, listen, when I went to New York, I talked to a guy who said he was a Carmelo fan. He likes the Knicks, but he was a Carmelo fan. Okay? There are people who are James Harden fans. They cut their hair like James Harden. They want to look like James Harden. How many people run around with the Odell Beckham haircut right now? You look like that dude off of that cartoon. But nobody cares because it's a fad. Why? Because Odell Beckham does it. How many people run around with the beard because of James Harden? You lose all that revenue. All that's out the window. Two, he's possible playoff contention. I think what they go to round 1 or round 2. You throw in, he's got Chris Paul there now, for a year. You know what I mean? Listen, Chris Paul being there for a year, that's no accident. I guarantee you, listen, you heard it here first. Chris Paul is not going to leave after a year. What's going to happen is they're going to get another apex player. They're going to make a run for the playoffs for the last round. And once they see that they can make it to the last round, listen, they don't care if they go to the finals this year, this basketball year, or the year coming up, whatever it is. That's not what they care about. That is not what they care about. They're not going to the finals. They already know this. They don't care about that. They're testing the waters. They're planning to go to the finals within the next 5 years. Or as long as James Harden's on that team. They don't care about going to the finals this year. They know it's not going to happen. They're trying to go in the next 3 years. They're going to build up a fourth man. They're going to trying to get a dynamite team and build up a fourth man. And that's the rhythm of the NBA. The big three is gone. I told you guys that. It's over with. They're like, the only way that we can even be in playoff contention is if we have a big three. But the only way we can go to the finals and win is if we have a big four. And that is the rhythm of the NBA. And they're going to pay for that. They have to pay for that out the yin-yang. They have to have a base. Just like, cooking a good stew. You got to have a good base. You know what I'm saying? They have to have somebody to build that foundation on. You know what I'm saying? Just building, any structure, you have to have a good foundation. And that's where they're starting at. But you're not going to have a bunch of other players on those teams get those contracts. In every single team, you're going to have one player who's going to get a ridiculous contract. And every other player is going to have to get a contract built around that player. Because that player is the face of the franchise for that time. Not for the career of the player, for the time span of the contracts. These contracts bind the player so they can't go anywhere against term contract. So they can't go anywhere, and or if they do opt out of their contract and break their contract, they lose a ridiculous amount of money. This is meant for the player to incentivize the player to stay and decentivize the player from leaving. Like, all of this is leaving with you. And trust me, that $228 for the contract in the NBA is not even close to what they're making outside of that. Okay? When I say close, I don't mean they're making an obscene amount outside of that, even though some of them did. Like Michael Jordan made an obscene amount of money outside of that. Okay? His contract was nothing compared to what he was getting in royalties and everything else. It was just ridiculous amount of money. Tiger Woods, he could care less. He was making a ridiculous amount until everybody found out he was a hoe. Okay, so let's just get this straight. They can make an obscene amount outside of the NBA, but they need to be in the NBA to get those contracts. So like I said, look at the flow of the NBA. It is no longer dependent upon a third man. It's all about the fourth man. But you got to have a good foundation. In every single, I'm going to say it again, in every single team is going to have one player Dirk Nowitzki, what's his contract? It's a ridiculous amount. He's about to get an even bigger contract. It's going to be colossal. It's either going to be colossal or Dirk Nowitzki's leaving. So I'm just telling you guys, the flow of the NBA, these contracts are going to be flying everywhere. Don't not one of you guys start writing me being wild about this ridiculousness. Just because I'm going to flame you as soon as you do. I am going to be like, dude, you know as well as I know that this is all fluff. You know this. And as soon as you do, I'm going to say, look, give me a breakdown of what they're really getting. If you want to be impressed by this ridiculousness. Give me a breakdown of what they're really getting inside and outside of the NBA. And that's how rich, these guys really are. Okay? It's your boy Tone 202. I'm telling you guys, don't be swayed by this nonsense. Don't be. Don't be swayed by this nonsense. I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Oh yeah, the NBA is fixed.